those vegan guys.
Thank you. So let's just establish that you're happy for this to be a YouTube vlog.
Yeah, absolutely, that's fine.
Marvellous. Let's get you added to the vegan stories, Ellie. The Flem Face.
Yep.
Right, now here's my first question. And it may have been answered. I haven't gone through your YouTube vlog history, so I don't know. But where does the name come from?
Yeah, so I've actually just recently changed it to Vegan Gays.
Yes, I noticed with your username.
Yeah, because that question keeps popping out. But my surname's Fleming, and it was just a name that was given to me so it's like from youth, so it's like sentimental to me. So I just thought, oh, I'll run with that. But then upon realization that it's probably something that's holding me back, and that I should just let go of it and have something that's more applicable to the channel and understandable, is something that I've done now. But yeah.
So Ellie is now Vegan Gays, as in Gaze.
Yes.
As in, you know, vegan is.
Now,
your content is quite diverse. I've watched your most recent video this morning, which is the kind of anti-vegan nonsense, and I love the way that you tackle it and deal with it. And the way that you kind of dissect it, dismantle it, and ridicule it without being horrible.
I try not to be. I try to be sassy. I understand I'm quite condescending. I don't mean to. It's just kind of how I speak.
Condescending is
but yeah, so I add a bit of sass, you know, just a bit of drag sass. So yeah, I try and be sassy.
I think sass, sarcasm, even condescension, when done comically, are all fine. It's when, but I talked about this in a recent video, and it's something that I'm kind of really aware of on YouTube, is that this whole back and forth between carnists and vegans, when it gets nasty and it's like personal and it's not person on person, I'm always like, does this help? Is it helping? Or is it just perpetuating this constant kind of battle? All right, you hate us. We're not really keen on you. You're not going to listen to us. We're never going to listen to you. I was about drawing a line in the sand and you cough over there.
Yeah. I saw this saying, and I find it very helpful. If don't talk about something about someone that they couldn't change in 5 minutes. So if it's something to do with their like appearance that they genuinely can't change, or you know, even in a friend group, you know, you've got an eyelash there, they can, you know, get rid of that. But if it's like your nose is funny, it's like there's no need to say stuff like that. So I don't think I feel like I can confidently say I've never gone for someone's appearance or something. I'm always just going for like their mentality, you know, the things that they're doing, their actions. I think if you keep it to that, then that's fine, because they can change that. But yeah, all this stuff that you know, you get comments about your looks and how we're deteriorating and all this stuff, and everyone's trying to pretend to be scientists, you know, and it's just like, I'm sorry, you can't diagnose people online. There's no point. It's just a waste of time.
I get it quite a lot.
I do.
But I just block the users from the channel, and it's always stuff like, look how you've deteriorated. But it fascinates me, because I'm like, right, first, I'm 51. I don't think I look bad for 51. Secondly, I'm a drag queen who trowels makeup onto my face and then scrapes it off with lotion and a towel. It's so what's your point? But trolls always go for the lowest common denominator, don't they? Try and belittle.
And that's why, you know, someone who's qualified to do so is the one who, you know, can diagnose these things, because especially online, you know, people are wearing things like makeup and everything. Like I personally, I don't wear makeup at all. Sometimes I'll put it on for fun, but I can't be bothered with it, so I don't wear it. So, you know, automatically I'm always going to look how I look when I go to sleep, when I wake up.
Oh my God, we look natural. How dare we?
How dare. So it's just, you know, and it's not to criticize people who wear makeup, because I think it's, you know, it's your face, your choice. But, you know, I don't I see it as a waste of time to just do it for 2 hours. You know,
I hate that it's expected just because you identify as female. I hate that. It's like, but I hate that with everything. I hate it with clothes. I hate that skirts are designated as female, and I'm like, why?
I know.
Well, it's fabric with a zip and a button. We all wear stuff with fabric, zips and buttons. What makes it specifically for female? Anyway, off on a tangent.
Yeah, sorry about that.
let's. So your name is Ellie Fleming. How old are you, Ellie?
I've just turned 24.
Bless.
I'm a baby.
24.
Back in the day.
It's lovely. It was. And how long have you up to? What part of the country are you in?
I'm currently in like the Cambridgeshire area, but I'm from Essex. But yeah, but I left there at 12, so the accent didn't stay with me because, you know, I was brought up better, you see. But yeah, I'm in Cambridgeshire. It's flat. Let's put it that way. But I've lived in loads of different places. I lived as far north as Scotland for a while. So, but yeah, Cambridgeshire.
So how long have you been vegan? And here's a chance for a good paragraph or two, because I do talk a lot. How long have you been vegan, and what was it?
So in June it was my 6-year vegan anniversary. So 6 years, and growing up, like I wasn't hidden from the aspect that life's quite unfair and that we do horrible things to basically everyone. So, you know, animal cruelty was just something I was aware of from a very young age, but I wasn't aware of how it was everywhere, like literally absolutely everywhere. So, you know, it's just all these like little things. But what sparked it was I was doing this music video for a punk band. They had a song called Graves, and it was about factory farming. So I was looking up, you know, some videos to put alongside it, the footage, which I couldn't use in the end. But then I started seeing videos about the dairy industry, and I was like, what on earth? Like, so I thought, right, as soon as I'm able to do so and I'm in charge of my food, my diet, then I'm going to go vegan. So I did like that when I turned 18, and yeah, haven't gone back since. So that was just what sparked it. I just thought, how on earth are these people who have written a song about animal cruelty, none of them are even vegetarian? And then because I saw the dairy videos, I realized, oh, actually you probably need to go vegan, not vegetarian. So all of them will eat McDonald's. They were like anti-establishment, all of these things, but then they would go to McDonald's, and so it's just like, you're not even.
It's so normalized, isn't it? Though in all cultures all across the world, and it's only the process that's hidden from us. You know, we see cows and pigs in fields, and we're like, oh, they must have a good life. Look, they're out there. And then it's on our plate, and we don't, for many years, through upbringing, through culture, through whatever, we don't fill in the gap. And as soon as we do, or we see it, and then we can't ignore it anymore.
Exactly. And I think if you have authority figures in your life, you know, schools are serving it to you, family are giving it to you, you know that they care about animals. But it's like, well, I do, and I'm doing the same as them. So it's difficult to then kind of put that aside and think, actually, good people can do bad things, and I'm one of those good people doing bad things. So I'm just gonna not do that anymore. But I don't know, because I can't remember the process of it. I do remember when I was a bit younger, like making fun of vegans every so often, because I would eat like anything that moved quite happily. I would eat organ meat, stuff like that. I didn't care. But I don't really remember too much of what happened or how I got there. But I know that it does take quite a leap to make that change, which is weird, because we all probably haven't changed our viewpoints at all on, you know, animals. We've always thought they're deserving of respect, you know, all of these things. It's just like, actually, we're not practicing what we preach in that sense. So it's bizarre, but yeah.
It is bizarre, but I mean, even I spent 20 years as a vegetarian, 20 years. And it was only through a friend on Facebook, very gently asking me to look at, because I kept talking about my happy egg omelettes. And he was like, Paul, would you just look into that a little? And because he was gentle with me, I did. And I was like, is that really what egg farms are like? When I actually saw them, the reality of it. But, you know, we can't be... I think vegan guilt is something we all carry. That whole thing, why didn't I do it sooner? And Maya Angelou says something, I'm paraphrasing, you did what you knew to be best at the time, and when you knew better, you did better. And I think we all have to hold on to that. Mm-hmm. So what was when did your channel start? Oh, by the way, and I'll link it up there if I haven't already. I am there so I can skip through the video and know when I'm editing. Oh, it's here. When did you start the channel, and what was your intent behind it?
Yeah, it was like, I think 6 months. I remember it being the Christmas, because I went vegan in June. So the Christmas after that, I went to uni, and then I was like, oh, I want to do a YouTube channel, because I saw other vegan channels at the time, and I just felt so far removed from them. I didn't like their kind of way about it. You know, it was all this kind of like, let's get skinny, let's do all these things. It's all very health focused. I was like, hang on, why are the animals like hardly being talked about when they're the full focus? It's just amazing, you know, having spent so much time in this movement, how little some people actually talk about the animals. It's wild. But yeah, so I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna, you know, if I want to see a person out there like me, then the best thing to do is be the person out there like me who's doing it. And I was really quite scared at the time, because you know, of worrying about my appearance and stuff like that. It's quite scary going on the camera for the first time, especially if you come away from you've had a break for a little while. You're at the camera and you're like, I am talking to an inanimate object. It's a strange. So that took a while. So I was doing all sorts of little things on there, little videos. But yeah, that was the main thing. I was just like, well, I just feel like a bit of an eccentric, average, working class person who's just like going vegan because I care about animals, and I'd like to see more of that. So that's what drove it really.
So what would you say your mainstay on the channel is? And I know what a difficult question this is.
I have no idea.
I know, and I can't answer it either. I know what my intentions were at the start, but now it's just like,
yeah, I just try and, because I'd love to do this like full time, and I've always had that in my idea. I'd like, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to just kind of drive change full time? You know, because I've always had my jobs here and there, and I felt like I'm not helping in any way. I'm waiting tables currently. I'm healthcare assistant at a hospital, and it's just like, it's nice helping, but it's not my thing. So I always had in mind, I was like, well, if I want to kind of you know, have a community and be part of one, I've got to kind of put my opinions out there and see if anyone, you know, likes them, and, you know, involve myself. Yeah. So it was just to try and involve myself and try and get conversations going. That was the main thing. So but now I think, because I understand that I've got this kind of circle, there is a circle, and you can't really get out of it very well. I just try and make content for those people, because I understand that, you know, a lot of the content we consume is very horrible. It's horrific. It's traumatizing, and we don't really process that very well. So I thought, well, I'm a bit eccentric and silly, so I'll just make eccentric and silly videos. You know, I do sometimes try and make people laugh, but I'm not like trying to be a comedian or anything. But I want to make entertaining content for vegans. So yeah, that's kind of the thing now. I think that wasn't the purpose at the start. But I think because a lot of the content we make is for non-vegans, I thought, well, how about some for vegans? Just have a bit of fun. you know, because it's just horrible. So let's just make something. And I think that will appeal to people who do come in, who aren't. I think we need more content that's like the popular content out there, but is of the vegan, you know, niche. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, your video that I watched this morning, and when you go and visit the channel, which you undoubtedly will, because none of you have it will be the first channel, the first video at the top there. I like that I love how much time you spend on editing.
Thank you. I do spend some time, yeah.
Well, no, I think it's, you know, a lot of YouTube, I think a lot of our YouTube viewers, because we probably share quite a lot, and if we don't, we should. Hint, hint, everybody. I think that I've lost my thread.
You were talking about how we got a similar group of people.
Yeah. I think they give us the freedom. Excuse me. I think we're blocking my thoughts. They give us the freedom to be ourselves. Do you know what I mean? And I think that the more that you do stuff on YouTube that comes from a very real place, but is still really well edited and has an effect here and there, people appreciate that. But so I think the majority of our kind of followers and friends know the amount of work that goes into creating YouTube videos, but there's a lot of people out there don't. It's become my life, Ellie. Pretty much. I love creating content. Hence yesterday's vlog about, because I had a head full of stuff and Shmarona Shmirus, and here we are, and everything's weird. And
I saw that last night. Yeah.
Sometimes I get a bit panicky, like, are we doing too much? Is our content too varied? Should we be sticking to it? And then you post a video like that and everyone's like, just please keep being you with everything you do. And it's a really comforting and accepting and lovely place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I do feel those similar things, because it's not my life, because I really can't afford for it to be. You know, I have to go to I work as bank staff essentially, so I pick when I do my shifts, which is nice. But so any real spare time I have, or I'm at home, I'm just, you know, doing it, because it does take quite a while to do. But so you are, you know, anyone who's saying they don't care about views, they're not lying. It's just you do, because if you have an input, you want an output that matches that. And obviously time is very valuable, and you the more people who see it, the merrier. It's literally there to be watched. That's its purpose.
Yes. So
you know, I've been on here, so yeah, nearly 6 years, and I'm still very small. So I share that frustration. Like, and I'm always worrying. You know, it's only recently that my videos have managed to more often than not hit 1,000. Like, and that's taken me 6 years, and it's declining again. So it's just,
it's a constant uphill battle.
Yeah.
We've had one really lucky video, and I think it was Aldi in January this year. So it was a Veganuary shopping video.
Oh yeah, Veganuary.
It had like 27,000 views, but we've never reached that again.
No, my largest one is 7,000. So it's just like, yeah, I've never got that one video either. Never. That's like,
you know what though, Ellie? It's what we both have to always keep in mind and acknowledge is that a large part of this is to do with the YouTube. It is to do with the YouTube algorithm.
It is. It is.
YouTube shares. Because if you remember, not so long back, I was mortified. There was an old video of the vegan queens making scones on those vegan guys' channel, and suddenly it was being recommended by YouTube. So it had like 7,000 views in 2 days. And the amount of time that I spent deleting hateful homophobic comments from that video was believe over 48 hours, hundreds. So it's like, right, YouTube, if you're going to share one of our videos, could you not share drag queens making scones to right bigots, please?
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, the homophobia is amazing because especially like I don't really hide I'm gay. I don't really say it too much, but I do mention it so often, and that's kind of why I've gone with the whole like vegan gays thing. Because it was, I think, my girlfriend and I were talking about vegan gains, and she went, vegan gays. And then I was like, actually,
It's double entendre. It's vegan gays, and it's vegan gays. I'm looking at you, mother.
I'm looking for with my vegan gays. Yeah, and you know, I'm a writer, so I very much do appreciate, you know. I do appreciate homonym. I really do. So yeah, I don't know. Like the algorithm's very strange because I was doing very well, and then I released a video, and it ended up getting 500 views, opposed to all these ones that got 2,000, 1.5. You know, which never happens for me. Get the 500 one, then I can't hit 1K for another like 5 videos. So it's like, and I do remember you doing the video about how you might have to get rid of the vegan queens, because that made me panic, because I was like, oh my god, I have 700 videos on my channel. Some of them have 2 views. Are they bringing my channel down? So I deleted loads. And I'm gonna delete more. But there are things I've done, like I've got, you know, exposés, you know, stuff like that, stuff with graphic content. And I'm just thinking,
I wouldn't delete anything else, only because it's everything that we have on our channel is a part of our history. It's how we started. It's how we got to where we are now. And the more I've looked into it, those old videos that aren't getting views anymore don't necessarily affect what you're doing right now. It's all about your top 10 videos.
Right.
That's why there's that top 10 list in the studio. It's like, right, these are your best videos, and here's why. You know.
Yeah, my best videos are ones. I have one that's like why I'm still vegan, because when everyone was leaving. But then I have other ones are just about like Elise Parker and like people who are way more famous. So, you know, it's difficult because it's like those are my least favorite videos to do. I don't mind having a go at people. Don't get me wrong. There is a Karen within me, and she is strong. She is, you know, but you know, at the same time, my favorite ones are my least viewed ones, which are my anti-vegan nonsense and my vegan meme reviews. I love those. So having a bit of a.
I thoroughly enjoyed the anti-vegan nonsense one. I think not only the content that you covered, but the way that you did it was just right. So yeah, folks should definitely go and have a look at that. So let me ask you some personal questions.
Oh, dun dun dun.
How long have you and your girlfriend been together?
So we don't have a proper date, you know when it just kind of like happens.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking it's like October, late October. We say, but yeah, that's good.
Going well.
Good. Yeah, very good. We're the same person, so it's very like. But like we get on like so well. I've never really gotten with someone so like, because I'm very like, I'm very to myself. I'm not very good at speaking with people, but you know, people are like, oh, you come across as confident. I'm just very confused by that. So, but I not really. I'll talk to anyone happily. I will be that person on the train who's chatting away. I will. But you know how it just takes energy to kind of talk to people sometimes. That's how I am with people. But with her, it's just a completely different story. We're just one and the same. It's very bizarre, but yeah.
While you're talking about that, by the way, just a quick thing for people on here, by the way, because, you know, so like we do a live video, for example, immediately after we get a barrage of messages on WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, all over the place. Please, folks, give us a minute. Just gives a minute to chill out. Because then I'm like, I hate leaving people's messages unanswered. But sometimes I haven't got the... I'm like, I really need to perk myself up to answer this correctly. With the strength it deserves.
Yeah.
I just wish you'd have waited a few hours.
It's energy. It is. I don't know why. I mean, psychologically, I could run it through, but yeah, it's just some people, they really do, and it's no fault of their own. They just take your energy, and some people just provide you with it, and it's just how you function together, and which is really cute.
How have you felt your energy levels while all this has been going on? You know, just yourself in general, kind of since March.
Well, it wasn't good because I work at a hospital, so it was very like, okay, because it's, don't get me wrong, I admire the people who do it all the time. I really do. Like, healthcare assistants are completely underrated for what they have to do. Like the things that, and you've worked for the NHS, so have you? Yeah. Yeah,
you do. Yeah. I'm a qualified health trainer.
Okay, so you're aware, you know, the system's very exhausted. There are a lot of people who are within it, and yeah, so it's, I admire it and I love helping people, but at the same time, it's not my thing. So I was thinking of giving it the quit, you know, getting a car and giving it the quit. And I was going to, and get my car and everything, but I did my license. You know, you can do them intensive courses. And then everything went into lockdown. So I'm still waiting. So, and then I was like, well, I can't leave now. Like, that would look really bad. You know, I could get income somewhere else, but I feel like, you know, a soldier who didn't go to war, you know. So, you know, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go then. So it was all quite scary because nobody knew what was going on. And I couldn't see my lady. So that was awful.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like when me and Jason acknowledge a lot of the time, we're so lucky to have each other and to live together, you know, for as long as we have, 23 years.
Wow.
And we can't even imagine that not being the case.
Wow, it's horrible.
I know, and so many people have struggled, so many people are on their own and can't reach out to their families and stuff. That's why what we do on YouTube is really important, as very clear, and I'm sure that if you ask the same question, you'd get a lot of the same responses, as was very clear from those responses on my video yesterday. You don't know how much this kind of stuff helps. No idea. Like, just, you know, because I have a Patreon and everything like that, just, you know, and I was away for 2 weeks so I couldn't work because I was, you know, and just those things coming through, it's like a weight off my mind, like, you know, and to know that is a potential, you know, it's obviously far away, and whether or not I'll ever reach it, who knows, but to know that could be like my full-time thing, it's just a wonderful thought, you know. Yeah. So it's so helpful when people are like that, help out, share. They just don't understand how much that really does help, opposed to just kind of watching a video, not even liking, and, you know, that's appreciated still because you're watching it, but, you know, the difference in how much that can help a creator is just night and day. So, well, I think I believe, and I hope I'm right, I believe that there is a real shift in the vegan movement happening now. And I believe that because what's happened is you've had all these upper echelon people on their platforms and their pedestals. So you've had the Tim Sheaf, you've had the Alyssa, or whatever she's called.
Oh, Elise, yeah, my mortal enemy.
Salmon Sucker, I call it. Did a video. I'm like you, I don't do them very often, but I've done her, Tim, and Sperridge.
I've done Elise like 4 times, no, 5 maybe. I just can't let it go. God, sets me off.
Here's the thing, so you've got all these people, and even John Venus recently, who get hundreds of thousands of followers over, you know, massive multimedia platforms. But when you look back at them, when you look back with a critical eye, they're as contrived as floof. All of them. And yet, people love that, even though they live lifestyles that are unreachable, untenable, that cost huge amounts of money that nobody with a real kitchen in a little 2-bed terrace can do. People watch them like, but I think because so many of them have fallen and proved themselves to be, again, I touched on this in yesterday's video, some people aren't in this for the animals, they're in it for the fame.
I was like, who's he talking about?
Because if you're in it for the animals, there is no ex-vegan. It's an impossible concept. Once you've acknowledged what happens to animals and what you're pulling yourself away from and trying to encourage other people to do, how could you ever go back to that? Ever? If you've really acknowledged it. So, sorry, a bit of a pedestal there, bit of a kind of rant moment, because it infuriates me that people like that get such big platforms and big followings and then fall off the wagon and prove themselves to be fake, contrived and full of shit and never in it for the animals in the first place. And then there's us, like, hi, hey, bugger, leave animals alone.
I know. It's just, it is, because if you set those parameters, you just work within them. That's as simple as with anything else that you see as ethically wrong. You don't just. But anyway, it's just like, it's amazing. Yeah, the upkeep of their lifestyle, and then there's me like, hi, I would just like enough money so that I can afford a place to live with my GF. That would be lovely, you know, because we live far apart. That would just be the dream right now, just to get a house, be able to afford it, doing something that I like doing. Because I just can't I've not yet found that job that I like very much, and I find myself liking this too much. So,
well, you know, I think honestly speaking, and I speak from my heart here, I think there are certain YouTubers that you watch and think you're meant to be here, and you're one of them.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, when I saw your video, I thought, oh, I like her. She's kind of kooky like me. She does silly things and voices and all.
I do, darling. I do.
No, I love that because I think it's chain of thought reveal. It's not going through a filter. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't help that I am partially blind, so I don't wear my glasses when I'm filming. So I can't actually see to script. So so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna like. So it is kind of all off the head.
Yeah.
I do have an idea, and that's why a lot of the time I just speak about, you know, especially like ethics, because it's already there. So it's like, well, you know, I can tell you how I feel about this, and I will, because I am a Karen, and that's just what Karens do. So yeah, I do, and that's why I do edit quite heavily as well. That was the beginning, because I was just like, I need 10 seconds to think about what I'm going to say, or I need to like, I'm going to get this wrong because I haven't scripted it. But yeah, it's just because I've seen, you know, the popular formats on YouTube, and they're very much like that. And I thought, well, actually, that's not being done. Maybe I'm missing it, but I can't actually see it at all in the vegan movement. Is anyone else kind of like doing? I've seen a few people do like 2 like vegan meme reviews on their channel or something like that. You know, something in that style. But I can't really think of like too many. I mean, you have people like Vegan Gains who then have the green screen and the editing and the skits. And, you know, I've started doing skits now, so that's near what, you know, people who are like bigger, not involved in, you know, veganism do. But yeah, I'd just like to see more of it. I'd love to see. That's why ideally I'd like to edit other people's work. But yeah, so because I do it, and I'm not a professional. You know, my only professional field is writing, and that's it. But yeah, I'd love to just, you know, do my videos all the time and then do other people's videos, because I'd love to see like really heavily edited vegan content that's really just easy to consume, entertaining. So we have this kind of network of just like sassily laughing at anti-vegan nonsense. I just think that'd be brilliant.
You know what we should do? All those real, down to earth, vegans should start a channel together.
I know there are a lot of like collaboration channels that used to be about, but then they kind of like disbanded. But it would be good, yeah, definitely.
But it's time for shaking up the vegan movement a bit, I think, because it's you know, sometimes people will allow themselves to go through the same crap over and over and over again until somebody says, "Hey, why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep getting obsessed over that kind of YouTuber and then watching them fall? Why don't you try something else?" Do you know, it's easy to fall into patterns where, oh, another one goes, but look over there, they're great.
Yeah, that's the problem. So it's the, you know, idolizing something that, you know, basically is bare minimum. I'm sorry, like, this is why I just don't, everyone's like, oh, you think you're more superior. It's like, no, I don't think I'm superior. That's the entire point. I'm just doing something that should have been bare minimum from the beginning. And, you know, the fact that you can't see that is, you know, you're going to get there. But no, the thing is as well with, you know, changes in the vegan movement. So like about 2 years ago, there was a very high like debate scene. And between 4 and 2 years ago, there was a heavy debate scene where all the vegans were debating, you know, and then what I saw is it went really quiet. And I think it went really quiet because people got bored because all of the arguments had been exhausted. And that's the problem. We've made content in the hopes that non-vegans will see it.
Yeah.
So now non-vegans have seen it, gone vegan. You've got now this group of vegans seeing it and going, well done. But you're not really getting anything else. So they're just bored of being like told it's wrong to kill animals, by the way. You don't want to hear that over and over again because now you know. So that's why I think the new format, or, you know, the rising format should just be entertainment. So it's like, okay, well, we've got these vegans. You know, loads of them keep leaving now. You know, were they vegan anyway? Anyway, we've got them, but we're not very good at keeping them or even establishing whether or not they're vegan in the first place. Like, there's all these people coming in saying they are, but are they really? And why are they leaving? And I think it's just because it's a lot to deal with. We're not even allowed to, like, some people have actually said my channel's like disgusting because I have a joke. I try and make a laugh out of stuff. It's like, well, clearly you're not British, because that's how we deal with everything, okay? You know, something tragic happens, we've got to make a joke about it, like, quick, you know. So it's like, I just think that's what needs to be done. Like, I've seen a lot of people within the movement, they just seem very downtrodden and horrible, and I get like that. It's just like, no, actually, we need to just, you know, if people are going to mock us, we just need to have a little bit of banter back and mock back and, you know, make it entertaining. So, yeah, I'm hoping that's the new wave. You know, more entertainment that people can enjoy.
Well, you know, I think we just have to stay positive parts of the new wave and keep nudging things in the right direction and hoping that we get the followings we deserve because we're down to earth and real, and that people start to check themselves as to who they lend their support to.
I know, just wild. Yeah.
Because I do that all the time. I had a big chat with Stuart not so long back about my keep watching Jeffree Star vlogs, but this was after I'd realised some horrific stuff that he'd said about and done to James Charles. I carried on watching him because I enjoyed him. Then I called myself out. I was like, what are you doing? You said that he was abhorrent not so long back, and now you're all like, hey, welcome to my channel.
Oh yeah, he's
You know?
he seems to be a master manipulator, that one.
yeah. I think you have to call yourself out sometimes, don't you? And, you know, people can point you in the direction and say, just have a look at what's going on over there.
Yeah.
So what does, some very short and random questions, what did you miss the most when you first went vegan?
Probably fried chicken, because you can't, it's harder to come by than
it was 6 years ago, for sure.
Yeah, when I started off and I was like, I had spaghetti and cucumbers, So I was eating that for the first few days, and then I realised 2 days in or something like that I was consuming cod liver oil tablets. I was like, oh, there's an animal in that. But yeah, I started when there wasn't all that much. There was some Linda McCartney.
We started in the same year, 2014.
Yeah, that would have been it. Yeah.
We started a little bit earlier, so I'm not. I admire the way you saying it was 6 years in May, and I'm like, we're in our 7th year now. Which is technically true. We're in our 7th year because it's six years and a few months. But yeah, I mean, was Holland and Barrett a lifesaver to you?
Yeah, it was. You know, the sauce rolls, and one of my favourite things to this day, and I just can't find them in there at the minute. But they're porkless pies. I just
could you get any at Christmas?
No, and there was one time where they did like the massive porkless pie. Like, and I ate the whole thing, you know, happily. I don't care. I don't share these things. They are the best.
Did you have it with pickle by any chance?
No, I'm not. No,
not pickles.
No,
like
pickle.
Piccolo.
I love pickle. I do love pickle.
Branston with that porkless pie. But yeah, last year we couldn't get any. Apparently, one of the suppliers who, like the middleman between V-Bites, who make it all, V-Bites Veggie Deli, the middleman between them and Holland and Barrett went bust.
Oh no!
So my local manager told me, because I had a full order in and I didn't get any of it.
If I knew that, I would have gone full out and bought like 30 and had a little cry over the freezer about how these would be my last, because they're like the best things in the world. They're so good. I
think they'll be back. It's just that they need a new middleman. Did you ever try the Morrisons porkless pie?
No, and I've recently been going to Morrisons more. They're really good. They're really good for...
No, they're fresh baked, they are. Vegan pies.
Oh, wait, no, tell a lie. When around Christmas, they had these... They were in like star shapes, weren't they? Yeah, I was quite underwhelmed by them, actually. They've got like a certain... I think it's the pastry. You've got to get the pastry right with porkless. You've got a very specific taste. And that's what Holland and Barrett did so well. Yeah, their filling was a bit skimpy. Like, come on. But, yeah, no, I was a bit like, oh. But it was Christmas, so I was surrounded by more and better treats. So
they're all made by, what's she called? Thingy McCartney.
Oh, Linda.
No, that came after. That married Paul after. Heather Mills.
Mills, all right, okay.
Heather Mills. She owns the V-Bites company that make all that stuff you get in Holland and Barrett.
Yeah, V-Bites is very hit and miss. Some of their things are amazing. But it's good. Now you're getting like more and more brands, and some of them are they missed the mark, and some of them are brilliant. So it's just a case of like, okay, well, the ones that suck are they're gonna lose out, and you're just gonna have better and better brands. It's just happens. So
we bought 2 ice creams from Holland and Barrett recently, which were their own make. One was an avocado ice cream, awful texture. And one was a peanut butter coconut ice cream, and that was outstanding.
You know what? The best ice cream for me is, and I do factor in price because I feel like cheaper things taste better. That's just how it is. Okay, the Morrisons chocolate ice cream, 80p.
Isn't it good?
It's so good. It's like Booja Booja. Like, genuinely, which is like £6. It just shows how affordable it is for these companies, but they don't want to bring the price down, so cheeky buggers. But there you go. So
where do you shop the most, Ellie?
Probably Tesco, because I don't have a car, so I just kind of have to cycle there. And I love Iceland. No bull burgers are just top tier, just brilliant. But yeah, it's mainly Tesco that I end up going to. But my favourite is Morrisons, for sure. But
to go to Tesco soon. I've heard they've got loads of new stuff in, like new beef style pieces and chicken.
They do, yeah. They do have like these new chicken things. It's like a tikka, and there's like a barbecue one or a Mexican one, and I haven't tried them because I'm a bit tight with my money when it comes to like spending it on myself. So if my girlfriend and I go shopping, I'm suddenly like, right, get all the treats. But if I'm by myself, I'll just kind of like I'll just eat like rice and ramen and stuff like that. So I'll get around to trying it because it looks so good, especially that tikka stuff. But
we've had ramen for lunch, me and Jez.
yeah. Oh.
A soup ramen with a big spoonful of peanut butter in it.
Oh, like a satay almost.
Satay noodles, gorgeous. Bit of spinach.
Oh,
really
lovely.
So I've already linked your channel up here. And please, folks, pop along and have a look at our Ellie, will you? Because we need to support all vegans on the platform, but in particular us LGBT vegans.
Us gays, we need it.
Because we get more crap than anyone else.
I do want to actually discuss that because I have a theory. Why do you think more LGBT plus people go vegan or vegetarian?
I think our empathy is more easily triggered because we have face depression just because of something that's part of us and there's nothing we can do about it. Which when you link it, you know, this animal is going to be forcefully bred, treated like shit, kicked about, fed crap, freezing cold, and then eventually taken to a human who will slit their throat for no reason other than they're a pig. And they're less than you. People have called me less than. It's exactly the same thing.
I think it's like that, and as well, like I'm not sure of your coming out kind of adventure, but mine was you go through this kind of thing, and you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. How did I not get that all along? Why did nobody tell me? Like, why was that not said? So it's like, it's the same thought process when it comes to, realizing that actually something big that you partake in doesn't make sense. Oh, that was happening all along and you just didn't see it. And I think a lot of people go through life without these revelations ever happening.
Yes.
So they go through it and they just don't think, they're like, oh, well, this is just how it is, how it will always be. I won't change. And they've never had to come out and say, they've never had to like come out and say, oh, there's this thing that was so clear to everyone and so clear to me, but I just couldn't, I couldn't get the cogs to work. And now I have, it all makes sense. And this is it. I really do think that we have to encourage light bulb moments.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's very difficult for someone who has never been oppressed to fully understand and empathise with true oppression. Yeah,
just the thought of like, nobody could do that to anybody. They've never done it to me. I wouldn't do it to anyone. It's like, actually, unfortunately, you might be doing that to someone without, someone's doing it for you and you've said that's okay without even realising.
Yeah. You're paying for it to happen, Brenda.
Yes, Brenda. Yes, Susan.
Put your purse away and think on. So the future of the channel, will we see any, is it always going to be core vegan? Will you be doing any LGBTQ stuff? Will you be doing any drama?
I'll keep it, I know that I do want to incorporate more stuff. I like stuff to do with psychological behavior and fairness and stuff like that, because if I could wish for anything, I do wish that I'd done when I had a chance and the funding to do so, to have done something to do with like counselling. I really I do end up being the grandmother Willow of a group, and so I'd love to talk about stuff about how your mind works, but I've strayed away from it because I know I'm not qualified, so I don't want to be telling people nonsense. I'm just going off intuition. It just somehow it does end up being right a lot of the time when I actually look into what.
I mean, I think that a lot of it is, it's like you know, you only take a study in something really so that you can study the masters of that field, learn their work, and show at the end that you've learned it. Really, when it comes to, I think particularly, and I'm sure Michelle Law would agree with us there actually, because she's got a psychology degree. But psychology is very much just about paying attention. Yeah,
and there are people who, you know, can just kind of pick up and think, well, if you do A, it will lead to C, you know, later on because of B.
Yeah. And you can't do A is because you keep thinking about D, even though you haven't acknowledged that.
You do keep thinking about D, don't you? I don't. I can't relate. I just can't relate. But yeah, I'd love to just, you know, talk about other things. I have my camera is fixed on a tripod. It doesn't have any kind of like viewfinder or anything. So when I get a vlogging camera, I'd like to just do, you know, more silly things. You know, with my girlfriend, she'd love to come on more. And
oh, I'd love to see.
Yeah,
I love couples. I love couples.
Everyone prefers her when she comes on the live streams, though, because she's very gorgeous, very sweet, very troublesome, a nightmare, you know. All these, you know, but she's really cool, and we just bounce off each other very well. So it'd be lovely to do stuff like that, because I'm very obviously people have their persona, and maybe you put a face on a day where you're not feeling very good, but the person I am on the camera is just it's the same, really. I'm just that. You know,
you're yourself.
Yeah.
I think people can see that clearly. It's endearing.
Endearing. Oh, thank you.
So we've talked for 51 goddamn minutes, Ellie.
God, that we have.
About all sorts of stuff. So can I ask you to end this with a final kind of statement, whether it be to, much like, do you watch Hot Ones on YouTube?
I do. I like Hot Ones.
The camera's yours. Tell everybody what you're doing, who you are, where to find you. Oh.
Yeah, so if you look up the Flem Face, you probably still find me, but I am vegan gaze now, as in looking, you know. I just do silly things. I like to make memes and look at memes and laugh at memes and try and make a joke out of something that's really not that funny. So, yeah, just come and pop over if you want to see some stuff that hopefully will entertain you, take your fancy, tickle it maybe. And yeah, thank you very much for having me.
I'll link it up there and down there. Ellie's channel. Oh, cheers for talking to me, Ellie.
Thank you very much.
It's. Do you mind the word queer?
Oh yeah, I don't mind it. It's all right.
I use the word queer to kind of, just because it's more interesting than LGBTQ.
I know it's a bit long. It's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, it's just like, so it's nice to know that there are other members in the queer family.
Yes.
Who are also vegan and in it for the animals.
Big old queer. Big old queer. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for talking to me, Ellie. I shall see you online and thereabouts. Thank you lot for watching. We'll both see you again soon. Until then, please be excellent to yourselves and each other. Bye, loves.
Bye.